What is going on, Gamehouse? I am Germ here. Today we are back once again breaking down another off-meta pick, another fun, unique, hopefully interesting strategy. We're going to be talking about what this pick is, how it works, and hopefully how you guys can make it work in your own games to win some LP of your own, or maybe just have a little extra fun playing League of Legends, which is something that, we hope everyone is able to do. Today we are talking about Teemo in the jungle. So where this is coming from is in patch 12.14. The patch that we are now on came out yesterday. Now it's the second day live. We're down and going and we're into the patch. Teemo got some buffs, so that has a lot of people trying out Teemo. That has people playing him all over. Obviously, he's traditionally a top laner, but his top lane win rate hasn't been great for quite some time, and the durability patch definitely wasn't that good for him. Like, yeah, he's getting assassinated less, but it's also just kind of harder for him to kill people. I don't know. Teemo hasn't been meta in quite some time. Like I want to say like season 9 or 10, he was like decent, but since then he hasn't really been that great. So Riot's trying to buff him up, and it has a lot of people interested, a lot of people excited. Because obviously Teemo is like the most hated champion in the game, or the former most hated champion in the game. But now he's like a kind of a fun champion that people like to play. He's obviously very, very simple, straightforward, but you can make him work pretty much anywhere. Teemo can really play all 5 positions to some extent. So the buffs for him were his base stats, his mana growth going from 20 to 25. But the big thing was his ult. His ult is getting buffed up. It's a very iconic part of Teemo's kit, the Shroom Kingdom. These buffs were placement range increasing from 400 to 650 to 900 at each rank, to 600, 750, and then 900. So increasing that placement range, obviously it's going to help Teemo, be able to like throw them over walls. It's also just going to help him get his mushrooms down from further away, from safer away. He's obviously a champion who doesn't want to get too up close to you, so the further he can put his shrooms down, the better off he's going to be. But they're also bumping up the damage. The base damage is staying the same, 200, 325, 400 at each rank. But instead of 50% AP, they're going up to 55% AP, greatly increasing the scaling damage of Teemo. Those shrooms already hit pretty hard in the late game, but now, especially Teemo's scaling champion, now once you're 3, 4, 5 items and you get a ton of AP, those mushrooms are going to be hitting. They've also lowered the mana cost at level 2 and level 3 of your ultimate as well. So overall, it's like 4 buffs to Teemo, the mana growth going up, and then the 3 buffs to his ult. This is pretty good. This is pretty significant. And if you look at the stats from 12-13 to 12-14, Teemo's win rate has definitely increased so far. He's had like most positions, he has, like in top lane, his win rate went up like 0.5% so far, but in some positions like jungle, mid, both bot lane positions, his win rate has gone up like 2, 3, 4% so far. When we take a look at Teemo in the jungle, it's actually an interesting pick, and if you take a look and notice what is going on in this game, actually the person we're looking at is XX Ganker XX420. That is not, his actual name. This is a Teemo jungle only account. This is Manko1, the streamer and YouTuber. You guys should definitely check him out. He's a Teemo one trick who just makes a ton of content. He streams Teemo gameplay all the time, makes YouTube videos about Teemo all the time, and this is his Teemo jungle not only but mostly account. You can see he has like a 57 or something % win rate on Teemo. He just has some really, really crazy stats, and he's been able to get all the way up to master tier on mostly Teemo jungle. So if you can get up to master tier in Teemo jungle, you can probably make it work in your silver games or your plat games, your diamond games or whatever. But yeah, Teemo, the biggest thing that you need to know about Teemo jungle, and something interesting that he does, is at the beginning of the game, when he's clearing his camps, if you guys notice in the video, maybe you got to go back and rewind, before he does his camps, he is actually standing still. He is going invisible before each of his camps, because with Teemo, when you go invisible, you stand still for like 1 second or 1.5 seconds or something like that. When you come out of invisibility, you get like a 20% attack speed buff for the next 5 seconds. So on Teemo jungle, that's something you need to be doing. When you do your first buff and you get your leash, make sure you go invisible. But he was invisible at his red buff, then he went down to his Krugs, was invisible. He's going invisible before each camp to get that 5% attack speed. We'll see if he does it here. He doesn't do it at this one. Now, since he's going to smite, he's already a little bit into the game. But yeah, at the beginning of the game especially, obviously Teemo doesn't have the greatest clear in the world. You are ranged, so you can kite around the camps. You can be overall pretty healthy. You shouldn't be getting too low off the camps if you're using smite, if you're kiting effectively. And then once you hit 6, and you can put mushrooms on the camps, like, you start to do an insane amount of damage. Obviously, as Teemo, you are not a super strong early game champion. You are not a super good, 1v1, 2v2 champion or anything like that. So, most often, you're going to want to be tracking the enemy jungler. You want to try to get vision down, try and get wards down. You're going to want to path away from the enemy jungler for the most part. Like you can see here, he ends up running into Echo, and hey, you're Teemo. This probably isn't going to work out too well. You're a level 4 Teemo against a level 5 Echo, and okay, he survives, he's still alive, but overall this hasn't been good. He tried to go for a gank, he ends up having to flash away. You're mostly going to want to be clearing camps. Yeah, if you can pick up a free kill, going for a gank or going for a play, obviously all junglers can go in and get free kills, but for the most part, you're going to be clearing. You're going to try and get up to level 6, and then you're just going to be scaling. And obviously, as Teemo, especially with these buffed up shrooms, you can really make games stall out. You can use your shrooms to clear waves. You can use your shrooms to prevent enemies from sieging onto your towers. You can do a lot of things, and Teemo jungle is all about scaling up, which makes it pretty strong in lower elos. You're not going to be getting invaded on. You're not going to be getting punished as much. You're going to get to free scale up into the late game a lot more often. And that's how a pick like this can work. But yeah, especially if you're against a strong early game dueling jungler, I would say, try and path to the crab that you think he's not going to go to. Try and play on the side of the map that you think he's not going to go to. Because if you do go for a gank, even if you think it's a free kill, even if you think they're way overextended, you don't want to be getting counter ganked and having to run into the enemy jungler. But if you're smart, if you track them, if you path away from them, you can scale up for free. And then, some of these early game champions, you're just going to be way stronger than them in the late game, and you're going to be another option to perhaps carry the game for your team, which can be really interesting. Here's the rune page that Manko is going on the Teemo jungle. He's going Press the Attack with Triumph, Legend Alacrity, Coup de Grace. He's going Inspiration Secondary with Free Boots and Cosmic Insight. Obviously, Free Boots is great on all champions that are trying to scale up. Yeah, sometimes Boots is really, really good on jungle, but you're Teemo. You already have your W for Speed Boost if you really want to get some extra speed. And yeah, I mean, like I said, you're trying to get as much free gold, free income and stuff as you can. Press the Attack, pretty good on Teemo everywhere as well. Obviously, you're going to be auto-attacking a lot. You're going to be able to proc that Press the Attack. It's going to help you do some extra damage. Legend Alacrity, really good for the attack speed in the jungle and stuff. You can see his runes, the attack speed, the adaptive force, and the armor as well. Really standard jungle stuff. Yeah, make sure you're always kiting around the camps. You can see here he's putting the shrooms down. The shrooms just going to explode on the Krugs. Once you hit 6, like I said, it does really start to get a lot easier with the clear and everything. As far as the skill order, he is starting out with a point in E. He is going Q at level 2, W at level 3. He's going to be maxing E first, then maxing Q, then maxing W. Of course, putting a point in alt every time you can. 6, 11, and 16 there. Yeah, nothing too crazy with that. Pretty normal skill order. Obviously, sometimes lane Teemo will want to max Q first. Sometimes maxing E first is better. But in the jungle, Manko likes to go with the E. And he is our resident Teemo main, so we're not going to question him too much. As far as his setup, he is actually going Blue Smite on the Teemo. Red Smite is pretty standard on most junglers right now. But I guess, if you get the Blue Smite down on somebody, you're going to be able to kite them easier. You're going to be able to run them down easier. Obviously, you're all about auto attacks and Qs and stuff like that. And the Blue Smite could be pretty annoying, so I could see how that could be okay. He's going for a Gnasher's Tooth first and a Berserker's Greaves. Obviously, attack speed is going to be pretty important in the jungle, especially when you're trying to get, through your clear. You're going to have to auto-attack camps a lot. You're going to actually want to be able to kill the camps and be able to cycle through them and everything. But Gnasher's Tooth, definitely a standard good item on Teemo, Berserker Greaves. And then he's going with the Rift Maker, which is, just another pretty standard Teemo item, another really, really good item, building into Demonic Embrace, and then going Zanya. So that's about what his 4, 5 item, if you're including the boots build, looks like. Obviously, you have some different options and stuff. Teemo's one of these champions who can go a couple different ways. There's definitely some people that like the Liandry's on Teemo. There's some people that like the Luden's Echo. Some people like to grab a Rabadon. Some people like to go a little bit more defensive with like a Wit's End or something. Teemo, he can really build all the different items. But again, Manko, master tier Teemo jungle player. This is the build he likes to go for. So I would say in most cases, this is going to be a pretty standard, pretty straightforward, and pretty good build as well. Again, you have lots of attack speed, lots of AP here. Your mushrooms are going to be hitting hard. You have the Demonic Embrace. You have the Zanyas. Hopefully you won't be getting one-shot exploded, anything like that. But yeah, early in the game, make sure you're staying away from the other team's jungler, trying to scale up, trying to play safe. Make sure you are going invisible before your camps, getting that attack speed bonus. Make sure you're scaling up. Make sure you're getting as much AP as you can, taking advantage of that extra 5% AP ratio on those shrooms, on that ult. And then, if you're ahead, snowball the game out of control. You can start to get aggressive. You can start to get crazy. Your clear is going to be insane. You're going to be on the map making plays. If your team is behind, set up Mushroom Kingdom. Start clearing out waves. Make it impossible for them to take your towers. Make it impossible for them to get in your base. And then just scale it out long enough until you outscale them. Because again, Teemo, he's just be a menace. Be annoying. That's what you're doing. That's what you're playing Teemo for. But yeah, Teemo buffs are here. His win rate is definitely increasing from 12-14 to 12-13. Teemo jungle is a fun and interesting playstyle. But Teemo is definitely playable in any position right now. I've seen Teemo top, jung, mid, AD carry, and support already in patch 12.14, and it actually seems like he's performing at least decently in every single position. So if you like Teemo, get hyped up. Patch 12.14 might be for you. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about Teemo in the jungle. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to date on all the latest content over here at the Game House. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace. We'll let this last team fight, or not this last team fight, we'll let this last fight play out with Echo. You see he drops the shroom onto the Echo ult. Yeah, you can be pretty annoying. Echo was getting the best of him earlier in the game, but, you know, now he's chilling. But I don't know if this one's going to end up okay. All right, guys, we're out of here. Peace.